Hey.
Nice.
All right, we're on?
We're on.
Nice.
Hell yeah, dude.
So what do you think is the esoteric significance of the Knicks run? Because here we have, it's a power of friendship kind of thing.
It is a power of friendship
and,
kind of thing. I mean, podcast brothers, too.
Yeah, exactly. That, too.
Who is it again? It's Brunson and Hart.
And Hart, they got a podcast.
Yeah, they're podcast bros.
And it's also sublimating your will to the functioning of the unit, right?
Mm-hmm. That's why they're strong.
Yeah.
Because everyone's completely locked in.
Yeah. And they all believe in each other.
Yeah. Some family stuff, too. The father, son.
Exactly. And, and Kat, who I love Kat now.
Yeah.
And
I mean, he's been playing great.
He lost his whole family during COVID and shit.
How? 5?
The COVID.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like 9 of them died.
What?
His mom died. Everyone died. He lost like 9 family members during COVID.
On a damn ventilator? Or?
I'm not sure what it was exactly, but I know that they all died.
I'm all on the ventilators?
Yeah.
Sounds like you didn't take that ivermectin. Yeah. Our pod just immediately fucking out of the algorithm. Yeah. Damn, that's terrible. That's terrible.
It is terrible.
Yeah. Nah, for sure. And it's also just, I mean, obviously, the power of the city.
Yeah, exactly.
The power of the city.
Well,
I
was watching the game on my phone at Gabby's yesterday, and I was like, it was the last possession, and I think I was a little late, and everyone started screaming outside, so I knew that they were going to miss a shot.
Who was?
That San Antonio was going to miss.
It was crazy. So you went to a play last night, and then you
I
just cut
did.
the
I
end?
went to see Death of a Salesman.
Nice.
And I read it beforehand.
Okay.
I read it during the day, then I went to see it, and it's the best play I've ever seen.
Hell yeah. Dude.
It was crazy.
Hell yeah.
It was crazy. Do you know what it's about at all?
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, I did the report on it, and then for the end of the year in AP English, I fucking made the rap video about.
Oh, that's right, you did.
Salesman.
Yeah.
I swear.
Do you remember anything about your rap?
What was his name?
Willie Loman.
Exactly, Willie Loman.
And he got his kids Biff and Happy.
Damn.
Happy, whose name is Harold. His real name is Harold.
Hilarious nickname. I'm gonna start calling you Happy Rogers, dude.
And do you remember the plot?
I can't really remember. He working for a long time.
So he working for like 37 years. He's a traveling salesman, right?
Right.
And now his son been gone for a while.
Okay.
And he's back to visit him. And both his adult sons are in his house. They're like about 30, right? And him and his son like are immediately beefing hard, and he's kind of losing his mind a bit. He's slipping, and like the memories come in of the past and shit like that.
Yeah.
And his son was like the star quarterback on the football team.
Sounds like Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Wow, relevant.
And he had a big game. He had a big success, and then he had a scholarship to the University of Virginia.
Okay.
And he flunked his math test, and all he needed to do was go to summer school, and he would have been able to go to college.
Yeah.
But he never went to summer school, and then nobody knows why. And what we find out at the end of the play that what happened was he got on it. His dad was in Boston, and he got on a train to Boston right after he found out he flunked, and got up there, and he found his dad's hotel, and he banged on the door, he found her with another woman.
Wow. Okay,
and then after that, he kind of gave up. He decided
he gave
my
up
dad's
the American dream,
and my dad's a fucking phony.
Yeah.
I thought my dad was this upstanding guy who had integrity, and I was looking out for him for moral guidance, and then he's actually a fucking phony.
Nothing better than a play that just exposes the phonies.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I know, yeah.
The phoniness of the world.
Yeah. I know, I mean,
phonies, dude.
and then at the end, he goes, they finally, like, his son's just, you know what it is they got a deal. They're going to make a big business. The brothers are going to go into business together. He's going to go ask this guy for a bunch of money that he used to work for.
Yeah.
And he goes to ask the guy for money, the kid, Biff.
Yeah.
And the guy doesn't even remember him. And he waits all day, and he doesn't even remember him. And the guy, he steals the guy's fountain pen and just runs out of the office.
Whoa.
And he says that as he's running down the stairs, he looks up and he can see the sky. And he's like, I don't even know why I'm doing this. What am I doing?
Right.
And yeah, the whole family, their whole lives, it's been like, and there's a lot to do with stealing. Happy and Biff are always stealing stuff. Like they're they got a house in Brooklyn and they're building an apartment building next door or something, and they're stealing lumber from the yard, and they're stealing stuff, and they're stealing balls from practice, right?
Okay.
And the dad's just like, oh, stop stealing, but he's laughing, and it's just okay to steal.
It's about America.
Yeah, these little dishonesties are okay. And of course, I was relating hard to it because a lot of it is like, this desire to be number one, right? This need to, you have to be really well liked. And this dishonesty thing.
You related to that, did you, Harold?
Yeah, it's my traps. It's my traps. I want to be liked too bad. I
want to be hated.
And I fall into dishonesty, right?
Yeah,
and so it's like.
Yeah, exactly.
And then at the end, and just like, it is upsetting. You believe in this ideal of integrity and what a person can be, and then they're actually like fake, and it's because. They're fake for petty reasons.
Right.
Because he was feeling ugly. He was feeling like people were laughing at him.
Who's feeling ugly? Oh,
Willie, right?
Willie Loman. So that's why he got.
And this girl gave him some attention, and she's laughing at his jokes.
Yeah.
And then he goes, there's the wife, and the wife was always holding it down for him. The wife was always holding it down, believed in his goodness till the very end, right? And maybe he did have this goodness in him too. So it's complicated there too, because he really worked hard to support his family.
Yeah.
And by the end, he's like a humiliated mess. So
it just blows up at the end.
Yeah, it just blows up, and what happens is he asked for. They basically cut his salary, so he's only working on commission. He's not making any fucking money.
Yeah.
He's borrowing money from his neighbor, right, and pretending that it's his salary to his wife, but his wife knows the truth. And then he goes and asks for his boss, who's his old boss's son, can I just have a job here in New York so I don't got to travel anymore? And the guy basically goes, no, you're going, fires him.
Right.
And then he,
Yeah, it's
and
a
then
great fall.
It's a great, and then he drives off the road.
That's right.
After his son finally breaks down and he cries in his arms, and Willie's going, he likes me. I started tearing up because he goes, he likes me. He really, he cried in my arms. He likes me. And then it's just like,
who drove off, Willie or the son?
Willie did.
Oh,
Willie killed himself.
That's right.
And it's just also like, and I've gotten it reminded me of made me think of my grandpa and my uncle, right? Because they were like that. The last time my uncle ever seen my grandpa, he came over and they got into a huge fight. My grandpa was sick and elderly by this point. My uncle pushed him to the ground and then left. And, and 6 months later, my grandpa was dead. And 6 months after that, my uncle was dead, right? And it's like, but their last thing was contentious. But Willie and Biff had this moment where they, it seemed like we can build on this, right? But instead, it just ended. Yeah, and it was like,
sounds like it's showing. It sounds like very much, in my theory of art showing like our great optimism, our great dreams, our hopes, our ideals, and then showing the larger arc of things. Yeah.
And there is something about that, like, it's the play. So, and I read it.
How was the play?
And I really liked it when I read it. But the play was like, it just brought everything out.
Where was it at?
It was at it was on Broadway in like 50th Street.
Okay.
It was a Winter Garden Theater or some shit like that. And
right
my
there.
client hooked me up with some like
nice. That's
the
why you
seats
went,
were
because you
like,
got some seats.
Yeah, it was
okay.
like, man, fourth row.
Hey, you like me and you're a thespian like me.
Yeah, exactly.
When I go to the plays with David.
And there's something about just the play is like, and it's exposing all these things, and it's about, these very real core ideals that never change, like these things that, especially in America, that are the core of kind of our identity.
Yeah.
And just, it's there, and everyone's feeling it. You could hear people crying throughout, and just
people
were so locked in.
Dude, I always cry in plays.
I know.
Something about
it's intense, yeah.
Everyone put it together.
Yeah.
I always cry. I'm just...
I mean, you're supposed to, I think.
Yeah.
But after people were so locked in, I was like, this is like, and it's a thing too where I'm really interested in the work of great literature that's also like super accessible to a bunch of people, and everyone gets it, and it's like, I was like, damn, I gotta write a fucking something like this.
Yes. Okay. I mean, the blast tenets. The binaries is for jokes, but it's also because it's always a pendulum.
It is a pendulum.
Whether you're trying to be, unreadable and incomprehensible, or readable and comprehensible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a play worth,
Run back. I got to run that back. Yeah, I'll listen to it.
Especially, the kid, Happy Harold, and he's a liar till the end, and I'm like, damn, this is like, man, it's like, but also it's this thing, because I was finishing up Sebald this week, too.
Right.
And it's funny because the dude who's the star of the play, Nathan Lane, who I don't know if you know his name, but you probably recognize him. He's like 70 years old, and he's like,
he was playing
Willie Loman. And
so fun. I gotta find that rap, dude. I remember. Dude.
Yeah,
Willie
please
Loman.
add it to the. You gotta.
Willie Loman got a good inflection. You could rhyme.
It does. And then he goes, and his dad goes, the son goes, I'm just a dime a dozen, and so are you, Dad. And the dad screams, I'm Willie Loman.
Yes, exactly. I remember that. He was like a great man, and then he fell.
Yeah, and then he was, the greatness was all.
He was a respected man.
He was. He thought he was, at least.
He was, right? And that's the way.
He was just a regular guy with a job. And
yeah, but you know what? Yeah, that's interesting, though, because that's also what you tell me about Sebald, too, and I'm not going to go on the full Genji rant because I'm writing about it. But
I mean, tell me something about Genji.
Yeah, but one aspect of the Genji rant, of the tale of Genji, is, of course, him being the shining womanizer, and him it's interesting that's the first novel, and him writing the letters. Well, there's a lot of things I could say about it, but one thing, and it's showing the specificity of this insular world, so it becomes an anthropological document.
Yeah.
But tying to what you're saying, it goes like Genji's 10, Genji's 12.
Oh yeah, you see
14,
someone's whole life,
and you see people's lives, and then people die.
Yeah.
And then they do a ceremony. And right in the beginning, his mom dies. It's not, it's the first chapter. And then they do a ceremony. And then it goes like, and then and also Japan has like very interesting like mourning ritual.
Yeah.
Mourning with the U rituals. And then for the next month, they all didn't do, because it's all about, how it's like, most things with death is like, I don't want to butcher this, but I think it's like, it's almost like cleanliness, like, or it's like the spirits can, you need to like sort of like isolate, and like, I don't know, the way that just the death rituals are different.
Who has to isolate?
When you're grieving, you kind of
the grieving person who's still alive.
I'm gonna it's going to be clarified when I write it down, but and obviously with when my Baba passed, there was interesting things we did.
I remember like you were feeling the bones.
Well, we were definitely feeling the bones, but then as we were leaving the ritual, there was like salt, and we were supposed to like throw salt on us before we entered regular life or something like that.
Yeah.
But in the Genji, anyway, the point is you see the whole life. Outside of it being an anthropological document, and astonishing that someone in 1001, a woman in 1001, which is fucking knight errant time, wrote a Tolstoyan novel.
Yeah, I know. Well, Beowulf was getting written,
Okay, yeah.
I think that's the English. Okay. They're
is contemporaneous. That early?
Beowulf? Yeah,
wow.
I think so.
Okay.
But, I mean, they're very different.
Yeah. I mean, Parsifal was 100 years later.
Yeah.
But that's what it is, right? It's seeing the whole life, and people dying, and then they mourning, and then
what you
spring
see,
comes again.
And that the whole thing just continues. And and you also see like,
and the final third is his son, and he dies too.
Yeah. And then you see like, I mean, he was remembering the past. He remembers such an ideal, but you just see the threads of how things.
Loman does.
Yeah. And how your life is like a winnowing down of choices, right? And this is something I'm thinking about a lot, because the last essay of Abolishing Time, I know it's going to be about, spreading my grandpa's ashes.
Right.
And and also my Shao Jassi.
The last essay is.
Yeah, that's going to be the
first
last.
essay. It's
the funeral. Yeah, so it goes the circle.
Yeah.
That's why I changed the name back to Nana's Funeral. I told you that, which I think is better than the. I think that's just, it's a funeral than the ashes, and that's how it should be.
Yeah.
But, this question of like, a lot of Mashal Jassis's books are about how your life's choices narrow down.
Right.
And one question, my grandpa cheated on my grandma, and it ruined. In some ways, it ruined my grandma's life, after she couldn't trust him anymore, and she just felt like he was like, this deadbeat who was humiliating her.
Willie Loman.
But, the wife in Death of a Salesman never found out. She found out. My grandma went with my mom. My mom was 13.
Only the son found out.
Yeah, only the son found out. He never told anybody. And it was like a secret between them, and that's why the son hated him so much.
And that's what ate him up.
and it ate him up. And Willie does say this line of like,
being forced to keep the secret can eat you up.
yeah, exactly. And Willie says this line to him where it's like, you ruined your life out of spite.
Who says that?
Willie says that to his son. That his son ruined his own life out of spite to him.
Right.
And that is true to a certain extent, too. And it's this complicated thing of, like, how do I hold you accountable for your actions and forgive you in a way that I'm going to be able to move on? And, like, where are the limits of forgiveness, too?
Right.
This is something I think Humpty Dumpty is about,
right?
Too.
Right.
It's like, what, because in Humpty, the dad cheats on the wife, right? John cheats on Beatrice.
Right.
And something Beatrice thinks, like, toward the end of the, about halfway through the book, is like, maybe I shouldn't have left. Maybe I could have just tolerated that and moved on. When does my own personal feelings of, like, he looks at Willie and he's like, you ruined my conception of integrity.
Right.
And now I'm going to make you pay for it.
Right.
That
was me till about age 25 or 27 towards my dad. And then I was like, bro, Yeah, I have to write a couple books about it.
Yeah, you do get it out of your system by writing books.
Yeah. But, and you see that too, people wanting to hold on to that grudge and that scapegoat and not forgiving.
It was a very morally complicated play.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. That was making me think of too, like, I guess we kind of passed that beat, but just Go
ahead, yeah.
I was just thinking about why East of Eden was so good.
Yeah.
And it's also that same thing. Where you see the whole life and then they die. And when Samuel dies, it's like devastating.
Yeah.
And that was just so formative because I read that summer after high school.
And that was interesting because today I was thinking, just like making a list in my head of what are these American books that are great works of literature that everyone also likes. Right. And that was on the list too.
It's it's retelling of
you gave it to me for my birthday.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, you did. I have
That's
it.
right.
So I got to run it.
That's right. Yeah, you got to run it. You body that easy. But it does creep up on you how good it is. Yeah. You're like, I think I saw someone say that online. They were like, I didn't realize I didn't like Samuel, and then suddenly he died.
Yeah.
And I missed him.
Yeah.
That's real.
And then you see, and then you like.
Gotta keep my feet out of this shot.
I'm
always showing
people.
My feet, pause on these.
People have a lot to say about your footwear, your socks.
They do.
Yeah. I think
your socks are dirty. Hey man, shit. We out here. It's 91 degrees.
Yeah.
I'm fucking working by the pier, sweating all day.
What are you gonna do? I mean,
what are you gonna do? Yeah, we have a lot of. Yeah, you talking about how your feet that one episode.
Nah, I know, and I've been, I've had to, I've been cognizant about my, olfactory presence, I guess.
Olfactory presence.
Yeah.
Yo, but that's good. I like how you're thinking though. It's like it's not just like, because often I frame it around like what can make the reader unable to not stay locked in despite himself, which is something. But it's also what is the all-encompassing, accessible in a shallow way, but just like American story.
Yeah.
All American. Novel.
And
Death of a Salesman's got to be up there.
Yeah.
And
he was
up there.
I mean,
Humpty
and
Dumpty.
what's funny, and the mom Humpty Dumpty. I mean, but and it's funny, he was the football player, and football wasn't even such a big sport in America. The NFL hadn't even started yet.
Okay.
When in 1949, I don't think. At least the Super Bowl hadn't started yet.
Okay.
That was like 15 years before the first Super Bowl.
Yeah, they had those cowhide helmets.
Yeah, and so they're but so that was interesting. But that's a thing of minor interest there. And
nice.
But,
the football element.
Yeah, the mom calls Happy at one point a philandering bum. And there was a lot of stuff that was like, Happy was really funny on stage, and I didn't realize he was funny. So funny in the play, but he was getting big laughs.
Hilarious.
And his mom called him a philandering bum. You're just a philandering bum.
Hilarious.
At one point, and that got a big laugh. But also, like, Arthur Miller was a philandering bum. He was married to Marilyn Monroe at the time, I think, and
Genji's certainly a
taking her for
bum.
Right.
That's all he does.
So tell me about Tell me about Genji.
Yeah, I mean, okay, first novel written in, published in 1021. It's so funny because I'm like all numerical, and obviously I'm writing the piece for this great artist Yoshitaka Amano. Yeah, but he focuses on these books.
Put that stank on it.
Exactly. I put a little, you know what I'm saying, a little miso, uh, but a little wasabi on that. But yeah. So I'm looking at the works he's focusing on, and it's also 1,000. He has a lot of 1,001 Night stuff, a lot of dream stuff, a lot of nighttime, kind of like fantastical stuff in his work. But basically. Yeah, first novel. It's funny. Yeah, I was gonna say it's 1,001 years before Fuckboy.
Yeah,
because it's 1021.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, but I do think there's a a turn of the millennium consciousness.
Yeah,
like right before the millennium changes.
So wait, how were they conceiving of the year? Did they think of it?
I was thinking that, and then I wasn't sure. But I think they were locked in. I'm not sure. We'll drop the numerology for a second. But basically, it was a time pre samurai, pre a lot of things. It was the period when it was just very affluent and
the
stable.
golden age of Imperial Japan.
Right. So it's just like basically the imperial court is just they're just kind of chilling. It's kind of like America, whatever. It's late empire, and but it's written by a woman named Murasaki, who she started writing it in 1001.
She worked on it for 20 years.
Yeah, right after her husband died.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is Genji is just out here, he's just he's like a kukule, and he's just so beautiful, sleeping with his stepmom, sleeping with. And then there's a kooky, there's different codes back then. So he's got like Murasaki herself is sort of the heroine, but she's like very young.
Oh,
she's
really?
Yeah. So this is what makes it interesting. Yeah. So she's like 12 when he like finds her, and he goes, "Why don't you come live in the imperial court?" It's just just explicit. It's just grooming vibes. But he's so he's got always. But it's also like. Yeah, you can just see the codes of the time where it's like if, there's various levels of consorts, there's intimate consorts. And the thing is, Genji's mother was a really low-born prostitute.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call the different women they had. Because they basically have like different like harems in like, the imperial castle. But she was the emperor's favorite. And then she dies right in the beginning, and then he's like this like but first of all, so it's like on one level, it's like, okay, this is just like a guy who has like a million different women. He's always yearning. He's always longing. He finds a new one. He writes her a poem. She's all ignoring him. And he just sits there. And it's interesting. It's all at night. 1001 Night is all at night, right? Yeah. 1001 Nights is, he tells. But they only.
Genji's all at night.
Genji's all at night because they're rich as fuck.
Yeah.
They don't have any wars because it's like peacetime. So they just sleep all day. And every night he goes, "Can I have a sleepover with you?" She goes,
really?
No.
Yeah.
And then they always leave at dawn.
Yeah.
One time he like sees one of them in the daytime. He's like, "Whoa, that's what she looks like," because they never see each other in the daytime. But so on one level it's like, the fact that it's written and that every woman has like a different, and the fact that it's written by Murasaki makes it like way more fascinating. So
it's her name. The character has her name.
And that's just like a
really.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like that's just like a name. They didn't have like it's like a nickname. Like I don't know. Like no one knows what her actual. Yeah.
But that's what they called her. And that's what she calls the character. Yeah. So do you think it's like she was like that? There was some Genji
and
type.
I think like he was like sus to her in the beginning, and she didn't like it, but then she like.
And are we supposed to understand that like the writer is like the character?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, well, it's presented like that. So that's another interesting element of it, right? I mean, he doesn't go on. He's just like, but he's always in the morning mist, in the misty morning. He's just sad about another girl. And then he goes, next chapter, oh, there was this woman who I saw, and he starts writing her poems. And it's all epistolary. Yeah. But it's also, and he like always like stays with them. Like for the once he starts a courtship, he just like stays with them, like for checking in on his ladies. You know? Very interesting that's the first novel.
What's the psychology like? The writing about their psychology, is it like? You said it's like Tolstoy. Is that what it is?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think well, it's just like there's so many different characters, and like, just people. Everyone's like, and you just see him grow up, and he'll check back in on the different women and stuff like that. but it's also like, yeah, attention to the festivals and the time of year and like where the moon is during this time.
Yeah.
It's just like because
You're locked in on it though.
Well, yeah, because it's like even if it's like, all right, this one's about like the anthropological element of it.
Yeah.
Makes it just like fascinating of like what were they on, and then it's also, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna the stuff. There's like two threads. One, I'm like, what is this saying about like human, like mating and stuff like that, and then there's like what I'm focused on and what I'm writing about, but. In terms of the former question, it's definitely like, yeah, it's definitely very, very interesting. I don't know if I should go down that path.
Yeah, well, if you want.
But it is just like, yeah, it we had to talk about some of the more like nihilistic views of like dating today.
How do you mean?
We were talking last episode about when we were talking about Volman and stuff.
Yeah.
And just like, just the kind of like, like Instagram dating app era,
sure.
and like this sort of like, I mean, Genji's he's the emperor's son. He has a palace.
Yeah.
He's just flying women out, basically.
Yeah. It's like Future.
Yeah, he's like Future. Yeah, exactly. Yes, Genji is Future. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty deep in. I've been thinking about that book a lot.
Have you been writing anything?
About for the sure.
What have you been working on? Writing.
I mean, just that.
You
that
take
piece.
it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But what's your angle on the piece?
You got to read the piece, bro. You got to read the piece.
No.
I think all that stuff. I mean, Amano's work is like super. Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of his portraits are of like beautiful women.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about fantasy. Dream, and his practice is very much he just sits in there every day and like draws other worlds.
Yeah,
he's very
really.
Yeah. I mean, he fucking created the template for Final Fantasy.
I thought you meant Genji. Oh, the artist.
Amano, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, but I mean, he's just
and
it's also like yearning. I've been thinking about yearning and like, just
yearning. You have.
As an artistic device.
Yeah.
As an artistic. And it's also like, just the way we look at like love and like fantasy as like a driving force to art.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been thinking about that.
See, that's what I think I finished. The last Sebald I finished this week was Vertigo. And I think that one is kind of about that. So, and I was thinking a lot about Sebald too, because what I was going to tell you is that Nathan Lane in the play looked a lot like Sebald, just because he had a big mustache. And, so I was just thinking about Sebald, and I was like, he looks like Sebald, I think. And Death of a Salesman, I think, is, and it's funny. It's really, I was listening to a biography of Sebald, which, by the way, I'm like, I started both this week, a biography of Faust and one of Sebald, just listening to it.
Okay.
And I realized something I can't tolerate is a writer's childhood. Like, he's walking around the woods with his, like, I don't care. I don't care about the writer's childhood at all. Like, I'm interested in, like, what they're doing as adults, like, hustling, like, a child, like, Goethe was so smart. His mommy said, like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I honestly don't give a fuck.
It's like the Bernard autobiography. He's like talking about when he was really young.
Yeah.
Biking around.
Yeah. And Sebald does that in, I think it's Vertigo when he goes back to his hometown. And
you're a fucking kid, dude. You didn't know what you were doing.
And he's remembering walking around with his I'm like, I'm just this. And then I'm listening to it.
Can't feel piece. I'm about to write about my early childhood.
Yeah. No, but I mean, and then I do it too. And I'm doing it in abolishing time sometimes right now too. And I'm like, I guess maybe your childhood is more interesting for you. But I mean, some people.
No, I'm just joking.
It is something to write about. And,
yeah.
But I was like.
So you're running back to biographies?
Anyway.
Yeah.
So, and someone who interviewed Sebald, one of his last interviewers with this dude, Christopher Bigsby. Yeah. And I heard that and I was like, how do I know that name? And he wrote the intro for Death of a Salesman that I had just read the day before.
Random.
So I was like, wow, that, it feels connected.
Yeah.
And you know what Willie Loman is he's like this at one point his next door neighbor describes him as he's a drummer who got thrown on the ash heap or something, some old slang just to mean some, another casualty of life, this unremembered casualty of life.
Yeah.
Who just goes on the ash heap and everyone moves on.
That's what we were talking about.
Exactly. And that's Sebald's whole project is recovering these.
Stoner. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But recovering these stories of these forgotten normal people.
And why is it that people just want to forget?
I don't know, because there's just, I don't know. But one thing about Sebald's project too is, which the biography was enlightening here, where it's talking about, in the immigrants, the first section of the immigrants is about this guy, Dr. Henry Selvin or something.
So which one? So you read Ring of Saturn? You read?
I read everything.
Yeah, last week
I read Austerlitz and Rings of Saturn. Then last week I read The Immigrants and Vertigo.
Yeah.
And
they were published in order like that, or
no? It was Vertigo. I actually don't know how they were published in English, but in German they were Vertigo.
Well, that doesn't matter, but yeah.
The Immigrants, Rings of Saturn, and Austerlitz.
Okay.
And
so you ran the first two.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I put.
And they're pretty short. They're shorter.
They're every book's about the same length.
Okay.
No, actually, Austerlitz they do get longer as they go.
Yeah.
My favorites are the Austerlitz, the Immigrants. And I think Rings of Saturn is my least favorite.
Okay.
But I also think they should be conceived of as one project.
Yeah.
So I don't think I think everything is. I just think it's all one project.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's like using models from real life, and he's fictionalizing models from real life. But he's just. Like this guy's family, this Dr. Henry Selvin's family, the biographer interviewed them, and they were pissed off because they made his dad they painted a portrait of his dad that he had a bad marriage with his wife, and then
who
my bad.
Yeah, no, you're good.
So
who's Dr. Henry Selvin?
He's the first story in The Immigrants.
Okay.
The Immigrants is 4 biographies.
Okay.
Okay. In miniature.
Okay.
And the whole thing is presented like...
So they're real people, but he's like...
They're real people, but they're completely fictionalized.
Interesting.
Kind of. He's stealing people's lives, but doing whatever he wants with them.
Right. It's like Volman on Shostakovich.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And not telling...
Right.
But they're regular people. Shostakovich was kind of a public figure.
I see.
This is a guy who... It was his neighbor.
I see.
In England.
So he's resuscitating these forgotten stories and writing the biographies. I got you.
But
that's sick.
But using them... Making them fictional, but making them seem like they're nonfiction too.
I see.
And so it looks like, okay, this is this guy, and if I wanted to trace this, I could find who this is based on, but it would give me a misleading view on this person's life. So he's contorting the person's life, like this Dr. Henry Selvin. He makes him a Jew from Lithuania, which is not true. He was always an English guy, and most of the stories in The Immigrants end up in suicide. Right, the people kill themselves, and the Dr. Henry Selvin one was interesting too because he tells the narrator, the Sebald figure, that the most impactful relationship of his life was when he was a teenager and he was hiking through the Swiss Alps with this older dude, and the older dude fell in the ice, right, and no one ever found his body again. But then, while Sebald is writing the story, or the narrator is writing the story, he comes to the end of the story of Henry Selvin, and then he goes, and then I just looked in the newspaper, and they recovered this guy's body from like 40 years after they were hiking together in the Alps. So it's like the past always coming back like that.
Into the writing of it.
But also his daughter was like, you made my dad into like a Jew who had this weird homoerotic relationship with this old dude.
Interesting.
And honestly, I think, I guess I got a lot more to say about Sebald than I thought.
Yeah.
But, I think he's low-key kind of gay.
Okay.
I mean, not that matters, but one thing I thought was...
Hey, I read all his Sebald.
Yeah.
I got some good takes. All right. Yo, he might be low-key kind of gay.
But he's never, like Vertigo. Vertigo really clued me in on this.
Okay.
How often he's not talking about...
Harold just bunkered out reading.
Yeah.
Yo, pause on page 78, dude. What's going on here?
But he's and this is something I was thinking, because we're talking about discretion and how I'm going to be a discretionary young man.
Yes.
I'm just
yes.
keeping things to myself and not saying too much. Sebald is like a vault with the things he don't want known, but everything is sublimated into the writing. So there's this weird tension when he's talking about this. This is so true in Vertigo, where he's like talking about something, but he ain't talking about it. Like all of Vertigo to me seems to swirl around a marriage crisis for him or some kind of love crisis,
right?
But he never mentions it,
right,
at all. But he's mentioning it through Stendhal's life and Kafka's life, and there's these little things like,
I see,
everywhere there's these romantic disasters and these tensions, and you never find out about why the narrator is so interested in this. But it's obvious some kind of catastrophe happened to him.
That is so interesting.
So he's not writing about himself, but he is the whole time.
I read the novel that's a novel, but it's presented in a way, where maybe it's
like a nonfiction account.
Well, no. I read a novel, but it's like it's about a character that a reader could say, "Oh, that's probably me."
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, you wrote a novel. You're saying yes.
And it takes the course it takes, and meanwhile, I'm just assignment, and every single one. What am I doing? I'm telling the story of somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's a Fuckboys, a Hall of Mirrors.
I mean, but I'm saying with the literal nonfiction essays.
Yeah.
I'm telling the stories about Volman's whole life. Aman's whole life.
Oh, yeah.
Now this photographer.
Yeah.
And but I'm really
talking about yourself.
Well, whatever.
But that is Sebald's doing.
Right.
That is what he's doing.
But that might be the better mode.
Yeah, it is. It's a really interesting mode, and
it's so interesting.
It is a really interesting mode because the tension there between what you are not confessing is present the whole time.
Right.
Whatever it is, like. I'll read that essay, and I know specifically the things you aren't saying. Right. But a reader who doesn't will feel a kind of like the things you're paying attention to. Everything comes out somehow.
That's the final editing.
Yeah.
It's just take out the thing where you make it explicit. Perhaps. I haven't quite made that. Perhaps that's why a lot of
it is an interesting mode to write in.
Yeah.
And what makes it even more interesting, and I actually think
it's outwardly directed.
Yeah.
And you also shows you reading and trying to find yourself in somebody else's story.
It's a really interesting
So
mode.
you think he had a gay escapade and
I
then
think
his marriage fell apart and now he's just making everybody,
that could be it.
Hey, my neighbor, let me tell you about my neighbor. Not me, bro. My neighbor had his gay friend up in the mountains in the Alps. Things got weird.
And then the immigrants, there's another long gay story.
Hilarious.
So it's like, why is he interested in these stories? I'm just
asking, bro. It's all good.
And then what's funny is like he mentions his wife's name sometimes, but he never says anything about her. Never says anything about, and he's always alone too.
What a fascinating view of the Sebald project.
Yeah, it's and I think it's all one project. And and like he's like in Venice, and he's it's funny. He's walking around Vienna, and he gets in these loops, and he's walking around so fucking much. And he don't even realize how much he's walking until he looks in the corner and his shoes are completely falling apart.
That's when that.
And he's like, "What am I doing?" Yeah. And he's out in Venice and he's on a gondola with some dude. He's just out there looking at the stars,
doing handies on the gondola.
I know. He ain't telling us about that,
fellas.
But I was
you
really
just go on a gondola with your man.
Yeah.
And just.
I was really interested in that, and I'm also really interested in the. I think. I mean, it's noisy out here. It's noisy there. It's noisy on the street.
I know.
I mean, but we have the. It's like just irrepressible focus. So noise don't matter.
Yeah, we're locked in, and I don't think he's picking it up.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
I think Borges is his big model, honestly, because Borges' whole project is making fiction seem like nonfiction,
right?
Which is like a really weird thing to do. It
is a weird thing to do,
and that's what Sebald's doing with the pictures too. He's bringing the nonfiction. Yeah, this is what I photograph, right? But it's fake, and the pictures are all fake. Right. He's using a picture here to talk about this, and I just think it gives the whole thing a really interesting texture.
Yeah,
just where he's not telling anything about you, everything's about something else, and it's it's presented to you, it's real, but it's not real, and it makes Kafka's a big model for him too, and it just gives you this strangeness. The whole thing is just so strange, but I really loved all the Sebald.
Crazy. I might gotta go on a Sebald bender. It sounds like you really just went on a Sebald.
Yeah, I
bender.
did. I did.
That's so
and,
funny. You were
an unexpected one.
disparaging
I was
Sebald for a while.
disparaging him.
That's the first book I gave you
Yeah.
that you damn read.
I know.
Low
yeah,
key,
yeah, right. I gotta
no,
do
it's not the
these-
first.
No,
not the first,
no, it's not. But
that's a. That's
I was holding that one for a while too,
Yeah.
and then I was literally like, I was going to Miami for the weekend,
Yeah.
and I forget what I was
You
reading,
just
but I was
grabbed
like,
Rings of Saturn.
yeah, like last second as I'm leaving for the airport, I'm like, I'm gonna grab this, and I read it through, and then I'm like, oh, this is my whole abolishing time project.
I gotta look at some of these books again. I just remember being so moved by that book.
Rings of Saturn.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, you read, you know,
I gotta read
so-
the other ones. It sounds like.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
read one of the, and then you just want to run the whole project back.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I think I took that. I think I was in a class with Kate Zambrino
Yeah.
when I read that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think
Oh.
yeah.
But I got to write something about. I just think the Sebald, and there is this thing about stealing the stories, and that's some sort of dishonesty, and just like the different levels of dishonesty, and sometimes like Loman's dishonesty and Sebald's
Sebald's
dishonesty, and
yeah.
he's the thing too is he lies to interviewers and says these are completely true stories.
Harold, dude, this is Harold's new model, dude.
Yeah.
Careful now. Harold's over here. So Columbus, right? When he was 12,
Well,
he
you
got
know
a
you can't
handy
trust-
from a weird prostitute on the streets of. Hey,
Oh,
you
his-
just making this
Oh,
up, bro.
I mean, come on, that was a great event.
it
Columbus
was a great
little,
Columbus. It was
that-
one of
that
your
little
best.
whorish
That might have
girl
been.
that
That
he
might
was
have been the
into.
best
Yeah.
stack you've ever written, which is saying a lot at this point.
But so that was really hitting for me.
Nice. Yeah, but the little dishonesties. What you're
Yeah.
saying about that?
Yeah, I don't know. I
There's something
got
about-
to think it through. of
Yeah.
What does it mean to even be honest, and what kind of honesties are useful, and which ones are, corrosive? Because
Yeah.
I think Sebald stealing these stories is preserve. And I do that. I'm a story thief, but I think of
No, what you mean?
Yeah.
I'm saying.
yeah.
I'm
of
the
course,
story
of
thief,
course.
but y'all want to just, anyway.
No, but it's like,
I'm the story preserver.
yeah, exactly. It's an archivist mentality. If he
Yes.
didn't use this guy's life, it would have just been forgotten, completely forgotten. And now it became something greater than itself. And, so I think all those things are,
Yeah.
it's just something to think about.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
the way I've been thinking about the pod and stuff and the stack
Yeah.
is just thinking out loud. I forget who I was talking about with this, but there were, but all this is just a process. So,
Right.
you can't take anything I say on the pod or the stack too seriously, because
Right.
I'm also figuring out what I'm trying to say through this. You can take the novel seriously,
Right.
and that's what, some dude had a comment on the YouTube about,
Yeah.
that I actually commented back.
Yeah.
I don't know if you read through that but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But saying I was talking about those Reddit fools and saying they didn't read the book, and I was like criticizing them for that.
Yeah.
But no, more of what I'm saying is like the stack is this, these are momentary things that it's like my public notebook, and you can't take my notebooks too seriously. When the work is published,
everything is durational.
yeah,
Everything is durational.
You're right.
And oftentimes when the book is published, but then things change,
Yeah.
But then I looked at the newspaper and bro had died. Like
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
incorporate that into it,
Yeah, of course.
that makes the work slap
Yeah.
more. But yeah.
But
I mean, that's what Woolman said.
Yeah.
Everything he does is hack work except for the books.
Yeah. But that's a good way to think of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like the pod, I'm trying to think about the things I'm thinking about through talking to you.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've been trying to take a much more, because you said what I've been working on. I've been working on these assignments. I can't wait to do this Camp Hill assignment. I already told you about it, but I'll talk about it when I start working on it more. But I've also just been reading, like everybody whose book I said I was gonna read.
You're doing
I've just
it.
been reading it. Yeah, so I'm trying to be like
who that girl that you're talking to today.
Yes,
I don't know if you want to talk about that.
No, yeah.
Not for any sus reason.
Yeah, great. Yeah. The books are the novels that explicitly make fuckboy part of the arc.
Yeah.
I say, okay, I'll give this one a read. No. No. Just supporting people's writing and showing that it's a conversation. I don't know. And then it's just funny that Gion kept coming up in some of the interviews I was doing.
Oh yeah.
People were asking me about Gion, and it's like, yeah, the only way to continue it is just to try to read other people's stuff.
Yeah.
Beyond that, but what else? Yeah, the Genji. Yeah, I guess I just been deep in the Genji mode.
It is like though that is the the most respectful thing you can do to another writer is actually read their book.
Right.
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 I mean, there's kind of nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was funny because that woman Rachel who I met today, like her book is, it's just continuing fuckboy.
Yeah.
Or it's like, she clearly like read fuckboy and is like, I'm gonna do fuckboy.
Yeah.
Like but it's just interesting to see how other people evolve the form. But yeah, that was also about a woman sleeping with he's a lot different.
Yeah.
I think the book is actually about the insanity of online dating in 2026.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to tell
That's
her.
what your next book's about, right? Or something like that.
Right, but if it is, it's probably gonna be from some my tower.
Yeah.
Judging the.
I was
the
hype
world,
off your idea of
not
a
from
manual
experience.
for women.
Hey, that was I
might have to do that
one.
one.
That was for the 10 beers in.
Yeah.
I was just playing. But no, it's just like, yeah, it's just interesting that Genji was like that too, of just like I don't know. There's something different going on with like how we look at. I mean, most things are really, just end in death, and there's no in terms of creating excitement for our lives or hope. Or,
Yeah.
It's really just like what is it? Especially because they all have everything they need in the imperial court in that time. So it's like, I don't know. And the fact that it's so connected to writing.
Yeah.
And then he'll be like.
I mean, it's amazing that a society could create the conditions for that novel in 1000.
Right.
In the year 1000.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. But there's something foundational about writing the poems. And then he's like, her writing was,
they love each other through reading each other's writing.
Through each other's poetry.
Yeah.
And that's like a way they like judge each other.
Yeah.
But like, that's what people are doing. Like, firing off messages. That woman, she's always changing her Hinge profile.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and then
you gotta pay attention. How do you punctuate your messages? Are you using too many emojis?
Yeah, exactly. Harold's trying to send.
You don't use any emojis, do you?
What you mean?
Do you use emoji? Yeah, you use them. You're not
when I'm texting.
I don't know.
A lady?
When you're texting, generally. What's your emoji like?
Yeah, I'll do some laugh emojis.
You laugh emoji,
yeah. I'll do the
sideways
sideways laugh.
yeah.
That's when it's really got me rolling.
Yeah.
I'll do the one where it's like he about to.
Oh, you do
to cry like
yeah.
I'll
The
girl
skull, the dead.
Oh yeah, I'm
you
dead.
Do the dead.
Yeah, I do the dead. You know the one I'm talking about? What? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're trying to be cute.
Yeah.
What emojis you use?
Oh man, I've been using the smiling one with the hands. Yeah.
What is that one? Let's go.
It's the only one with hands. So that one's fascinating to me because it's like the emojis don't have hands. So these are like he's pulling the hands out for his pose.
Yeah. You do a wink.
Yeah, I do the side, the wink with the tongues out. Yeah.
Oh.
I really feel it. I fill it up, Yo,
that's like that clip. You ever seen that clip when Drake and Future were came out with the project back in the day?
No.
Yeah, but they came out.
Sure. Oh yeah.
The digital dash, and they go back and forth. There's one clip of him Metro Boomin and Future, and Future hearing it for the first time, and to his verse.
Yeah.
And he's like dancing, and then Metro Boomin's there, and then Drake's there, and he starts doing this weird dance, and he makes this weird face, and like the top comment was like, "Damn, bro, really hit him with the." Yeah, that emoji is great. I don't think I ever used that one. That's a bit zany. You can be a little zany.
Well, I guess I keep my zaniness to text.
Yeah.
When I text my mom for a while, she'll just hit me out of the blue with the emoji, the one with the monocle.
Your mom hits you with nothing but the monocle.
Yeah.
You better,
Hey,
you better-
Mom.
Hey, mom. Check. You better check it. Yeah. Yo, when you get hit with the monocle, you better. Damn. That's so funny. Yeah. Back in the day, they were, they were dropping. They had the calligraphy. She
Yeah.
also wrote it with calligraphy and ink, which is
That's what I was
remarkable.
thinking about. You said it
And
was
now we
published
just
in
hit each other.
1021. So,
Yeah.
like, what do you have any idea of what the actual book looked like when it was published, and what how it was proliferating?
Well, what's
and,
funny is I told my mom about this
Yeah.
last week, and
Mhm.
she was like, "Oh yeah, Genji, like play." Because I mean, it's like I think there's definitely like a feminist contingent that are just like, "Yo, fuck Genji."
Oh, really?
bro,
Yeah,
get
yeah.
over here. But it's
Is
also
that how your mom feels?
no. She
Yeah.
was just like, "Oh yeah," or I don't know. She was just like, and then this week because she's in Japan now, and she
Mhm.
went to the Tokyo Museum. And she was texting me last night.
Yeah.
She never texted
Mm-hmm.
and she was like texting me all these pictures, and it was a Genji exhibit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
Oh,
so then
shit.
she was saying like, the fact that she wrote, and she was just hyped that it was like, I
So
mean,
it
it's
was-
sick that
it
it's
was
written by a
scrolls?
woman. I think,
Yeah.
I know she said it was calligraphy and ink.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Mhm.
but I mean, they're constantly writing two stacks
Yeah.
back and forth to each other
Yeah.
in the things.
But-
and now we just
yeah.
we hit him with the
That is funny.
we hit him with the
Yeah.
with the zany
I mean,
emoji.
it is, I guess, a degradation of the style and thinking. I mean, the courtship degeneration.
Right. But it's also what
'Cause the
like
prod- the-
people
the-
are doing
the
now.
end
They're
goal is
dating
easier
and they're
to,
trying to find love here
Yeah.
and there. You know?
Yeah, but I guess
Tales
yeah,
all his time.
I was
dude.
gonna say it's easier
Yeah.
to get laid, so you don't have to craft your verse so well. But Genji was getting laid pretty easy. But is it
Right,
because
he's
he
the
just had
shining
that-
golden boy?
Yeah,
He's the
exactly.
chosen
I
one.
guess it wasn't,
Yeah, his
you know.
name was literally Shining Genji.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then he's all there's some crazy stuff I can't even joke about. But he's
Yeah.
just like, yeah. But it's funny too. It's like it's also wild because it's like so unself. Yeah, when a book is just like completely so old.
Yeah.
it's like operating on a completely different moral structure.
sure.
It's like he's like, so like his mom dies, and then the main woman he likes is Fujitsuba, I think her name is,
Mhm.
and it's his stepmom.
Okay,
So it's the so it's like a dude. It's a
not blood related.
yeah, but it's all the court,
Yeah.
so they're all sisters and
Yeah.
brothers. And then like he sleeps with his stepmom.
Yeah,
But
no one's into
they
that.
keep it on the
now.
low.
Yeah,
No one's into that now. And I know. This is why it's fun. And then it's all this stuff of
Yeah.
like this young woman's like, I hope I get picked up by.
Yeah.
Never mind. Whatever. I hope he picks me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I hope I get flown out by Future.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know. But then like he keeps it on the low. So then the son is the emperor.
yeah,
He's the chosen one. We really out here in these streets. You must be on the asphalt. But so yeah, the emperor it's like actually his son, but no one knows, you
Yeah.
know? And then she like joins a convent or she gets older and he's like, I need a younger woman reminds me of my favorite woman.
Yeah, yeah.
His stepmom.
Yeah.
So then he finds Murasaki
Oh,
and he's
yeah.
like,
well, at least he waits, right?
yeah, he does
Yeah.
wait. I think he's getting a little impatient a couple
Yeah.
times. It's pretty wild. But that's just how they were moving, I guess. But yeah, you know what I mean? It's like,
Mhm.
bro, and it's also it's just like the Japanese mentality is just so good about that of like things have their season,
Yeah.
and then they pass,
Mhm.
and then a new thing comes, and you like your stepmom, and then she passes, and then you find
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like there's like
No, it's
foundational
true, though.
things that we that
Well,
we kinda
it's
see in the world.
tied with you think of Japan, you think of the cherry blossoms
course.
blooming,
Yeah.
and it's like
Exactly
that's
that.
a very obvious
yeah, and the seasons are
regeneration.
really marked.
Yeah,
It's like really extreme. Yeah, and it's just just the politics of it. Like the first woman one of the early ones he talks to, she just keeps ignoring him.
yeah,
She's just completely icing him out, and he's like, "I won't lie, this did make me." It's just
Yeah.
like Rachel's
Of
book. It's all
course,
these
yeah.
dating politics.
yeah,
I won't lie, this made me pretty upset. He's like frustrated. He's
Yeah.
like, "Damn, I was so hyped," but then he's like, "But this does make me like her more."
yeah.
But then she's like, "You know what? I've had enough. This was too long. I'm moving on now." Then
She's being cruel.
Yeah, she was being. He says that you're being cruel. But yeah, getting a real kick out of it's just so surprising. It's so surprising.
Really? I mean,
Not at all what I thought it was.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the best when, the only way you got to look at the work with your own eyes.
I know.
Always. You
Yeah,
can,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
that has to be the ethic for all this stuff because you discover things that you had no idea that were there.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
And of course, your read will be different.
Yeah,
depending
exactly.
what you think about, guys. You guys want to go read Table for Fortune?
yeah.
And talk about the CIA
Yeah.
stuff? Go do
Well,
that.
yeah, whatever.
Don't-
And it's like,
Don't talk about my reading.
No,
It's
the
my
whole-
fucking reading,
the
bro.
whole-
I read it.
the whole point is what is your connection with this thing? How are you engaging with it? That's the
Well,
whole
it's
point of
just like-
literature,
and
right?
It's just like the Sebald. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
he's showing explicitly kind of what we're doing when we're finding
Yeah, exactly.
subtle things that have to do with us through
that's
other
true.
people's stories.
That's true.
Right?
That's yeah.
And that
That's
is
so
that is
true.
counter to the way, the Spark Notes
yeah.
reading test. It's
Yeah.
like, what is it about?
Exactly.
These nerds are on us.
Which
It's
is
like that's great for you, but that's not.
yeah. What?
everybody's
Why
different.
teach literature like that?
Yeah.
I think you ought to give someone
Right.
a book. Then write. Give me just fucking 1,000 words on this. Write
Yeah.
whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what I've been trying to do with the stack.
Exactly.
But the Sebald thing, that's another good connection between him and Borges, where it's just you're
Biographies.
looking at life through literature.
Right.
Like you're looking right at life.
Yeah.
The literature's right in front of your face, and you're trying to see life on the other side of it.
Damn.
Or yourself.
Yeah,
you're
I wanna-
using it as a mirror.
I want to
too.
go on a I had fiction. Yeah, fiction.
I just
was
read.
trying to find
I was reading through some stories the other day. I always forget how much I like him. Then I reread it. Like
the stories.
yeah.
Yeah,
I read
from the
that,
fictions, the Tlon.
Yeah. Oh, I read
Yeah.
because I used that a quote from that to end my stack a couple
Nice.
weeks. The one about the
Okay.
gecko.
Okay, yeah.
The last quote was from
Yeah.
Flan
Nice.
Ukbar.
Nice.
And then I read Shakespeare's Memory. Do you know that one?
No, I don't
That's
know that
his
one.
last story.
Okay.
And that's a really good one.
Or I don't remember.
Yeah,
that 'cause
yeah.
I hit that back
Where
in
it's
the
a
day.
dude. He's a scholar. He's a Shakespeare scholar.
Yeah.
And he meets some guy at some conference, some melancholy fellow. And the guy's like, I have this terrible gift. I'm burdened with Shakespeare's memory. Like I have Shakespeare's memory and it's in there with mine too. And like I
Yeah.
can give it to you. All you have to do is accept it.
Mm.
And he accepts it. And now all of a sudden he has Shakespeare's memory. But it's not like the things aren't clear. Like he can't like inhabit Shakespeare. It's just like
Yeah.
weird flickers. And he just feels completely different. And it's just like his
Hilarious.
dreams are weird. And it's just and I mean, it's very Sebaldian. It's just a spooky. The whole texture of the story is so spooky, and it's like, what is memory? Am I me? Am I Shakespeare? I can't. It's
Damn.
not like I know.
And he's saying, yeah. The
And then like,
things are bleeding into each other.
yeah. And the guy wrote like a biography about Shakespeare, but it was like conventional because he really doesn't have any kind of special access. He has his memory,
Okay.
but it's not like he has access to his
Right.
real biographical facts or anything. Just these weird flickers.
That's
Like he
hilarious.
sees
That's
a
so
hedge,
Borges. That's
you
so
know.
Borges. Yeah, that's actually what had me looking at Borges because I was trying to see what he wrote about the tale of Genji.
Oh,
And
what did he write?
Well, it turns out that his wife was Japanese.
What?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. What
Did
the hell
something happen to
happened?
that camera? His wife was Japanese. Did it stop?
But yeah.
All right, so Borges' wife
Yeah,
was Japanese.
So his wife was Japanese, and I think the only thing he late in his life, he took a trip to Japan.
Yeah.
And he
Was he
wrote.
blind by then?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure because I was trying to find it online.
Yeah.
And then that's when he mentions Genji, and he talks a little bit about Genji. Like, he doesn't have an explicit essay about Genji,
Yeah.
and he was like saying it's like he puts it up there with like the Odyssey and like Don Quixote. And
Sure.
stuff.
It's a foundational text.
But then he was like, yeah, I think that whole trip he was just like super goated, so he was just like shaking hands with like Kawabata and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but I didn't know that his wife was Japanese. Yeah, the Argentina Japanese.
Yeah, I guess it's.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Brazil's a little strong. I don't know about
That's
that.
got more like
Oh,
World
you
War
know,
II vibes.
Deuce
instead of
McBride.
jiu-jitsu.
Deuce McBride got a Brazilian daughter.
Okay.
His girlfriend's Brazilian.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was like, I
Look
just
at
seen
you,
that
dude.
today. I was
You
like, I'm
repping the-
collecting. Yeah, I mean,
you repping the team.
Brazil last friendly today before the World Cup.
Oh, nice.
Egypt.
Is that later today?
Yeah, I'm gonna
nice.
go. I'm gonna go see it.
Nice.
Yeah, but I want to tell you about one more scene from Death
Yeah.
of a Salesman.
Yeah.
Where it was it's like the last where they all plan like, and there's these waves of hopefulness that overtake the family too, which is another thing I was relating to, like these waves of optimism, like buoying you up.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of it. Like at his funeral, his neighbor says at his funeral that like nobody shows up to, and he's talking about earlier in the play how at his funeral he's like imagining all the people he would sell to from city to city, like pulling up at his funeral.
Right. No one
and a
shows
big
at the
funeral was something that was really important to him because he
Yeah.
wanted to see that he made an impact on so many people. And the funeral was like late because his wife's waiting for the people to show up, and it's getting dark, and no one's there except the family and his neighbor, right? And the neighbor was like, you know, all the salesman has is a smile and a shoe shine and his dream or something like that. And the dream, you know, even though there's all this dishonesty and there's this thing about obviously you're never going to be number one and you're never going to be liked in the way you want, just the dream is sustaining in a certain way,
Right.
you know,
Right.
and you do need that. And like, where's the balance of that? And because without the dream, you know, what are you?
But that's the thing. Like, what would they be doing if he wasn't getting so worked up with this new love, this new possibility of the love, and then it always, you know, I feel sad. But then the moments he's like,
well,
I think there's something to that with like, and then
of course
Amano drawing all these different women, and there's like this. What the fuck was that? There's this, I don't know. I feel like there's something about that where the yearning and the romance is like sustaining, and I'm like,
and the renewal,
and this woman's, you know, young woman's book, and I'm like, man, I'm really worried about these young ladies out here with the dating apps and they writing the novels about their reckless behavior. But then I'm also like, I was trying to say that, but then it's also like, I don't know, maybe that's what she wants. When you're in the thrall of a thing, it's making me a little bit less conservative in my view towards romance and being nice to other people.
But
but the dream sustains you.
And he could have found the dream again at the end, but he decided to, you know, he was going to kill himself so he could get a life insurance policy, but it didn't even work out. You know, he was thinking of like, I'm going to help my son with this. I'm going to get him a bag, you know, and it just didn't work out. And he could have restarted. The process of the optimism could have started again. They could have thought like we could actually have a family now, and where people, but instead he chose a different path, you know, which is, you know, I think that's, you know, always a decision that reverberates badly, you know, but
we need things to keep us going.
The dream. You need the dream.
Yeah, we need a dream. Yeah, I mean, it's all about, you know, 1001 nights. When do you have dreams? When you sleep at night. You know, fucking Genji, it's a new dream.
But before that, you know, the last confrontation when they're back at the house,
the dream don't become a nightmare.
They're all having their big optimistic dinner, right? Where it's the boys are taking their dad out to dinner. And
love an optimistic dinner.
I know. And they're supposed to celebrate the good news, but the day went disastrous for all of them. And Happy pulls up, and he sees some like hot young girl there, and he starts hitting on her at the restaurant, right? And he kind of picks her up, and they're talking, and he's like, "Bring your friend here." And the dad sits down at the table, and they kind of get in an argument, right? And the dad's all kind of totters off, and he's being kind of crazy at the restaurant. And then the hot young lady brings her friend out, and Happy's like, you know, Biff runs off, and Happy's like, you know, ladies, let's get out of here. And they're like, don't you want to do something about your dad? And he goes, that ain't my dad. And he runs off with the girls and leaves his dad humiliated at the restaurant. Happy. That rat bastard.
Genji, dude, just got fickle eye.
Philandering bums.
Philandering bums.
You know, you don't want to be a philandering bum.
Yeah, and that's a good element too, where like,
well, though the philandering bum is always a dreamer.
Yeah, yeah, but it's not totally like it's cool.
Yeah,
what he's doing. At the time,
Genji.
Yeah,
of course.
People are like, she's way too young.
Yeah,
like, what are you doing, you fucking weirdo? He's like, it's all right.
Yeah, because he's the shining one.
Yeah,
and does he have consequences for his actions?
Well, the thing is, he's the emperor. It's also interesting because the emperors are like basically.
They're gods.
Yeah, they're basically gods, right? They're descended directly from the sun. So they're like in this higher tier. But when he finds like an old country girl, you know, and she flies her out to Miami.
Yeah, nice.
You know, yeah.
Country girl never been in Miami.
My Genji analysis is just,
Yeah.
I'm just joking about saying Genji.
People are going to be in the comments like, actually, the tale of Genji is not like that at all.
Actually,
Sean
yeah,
did not
actually-
make one coherent point about the tale of Genji.
Oh man, but yeah, no, that's what's up, bro. I gotta read some. It sounds like I gotta
Yeah.
read some Sebald.
Yeah, run that Death of a Salesman, too.
Yeah, I gotta run that too.
I gotta... Yeah, maybe that East of Eden's coming out.
Yeah.
I'm more in the lookout for
what you
these...
looking
Well, now I'm reading this book that is... I'm running that Brazilian soccer book. I'm kind of doing my
Okay.
soccer prep before the start of the World Cup.
Nice,
And
nice,
then
nice.
there's this,
the
like-
one Ben's putting out.
Now, I might
Oh,
hit that,
Oh, which one?
but it's just the one I'm
The Move,
translating.
The Move.
Yeah, The
Yeah.
Move. And there's this other one that The Move takes an epigraph from,
Okay.
which is by the guy who, the Maracanã Stadium in Rio? The main stadium in
Yeah,
Rio, the big
yeah,
stadium? It's
yeah.
actually, the name of the stadium is Stadium Mario Filho,
Okay.
Mario's son,
Mm.
And it's named after this journalist who wrote this book, who was just like,
Oh, feel you, and that's why feels
Feel
good.
you.
Feels
yeah,
good. Yeah.
But he wrote this book about, it's called O Negro no Futebol Brasileiro, which is like the black in Brazilian football. It's about, how soccer was made in Brazil through like, the racial question kind of. And
Okay.
it's
That's the book that they get the epigraph from.
yeah,
Okay.
but it's supposed to be a sick book.
Love that.
Sergio Rodriguez told me it's like the Brazilian soccer novel. It's nonfiction,
Nice.
but he's like, this is the great work of
Nice.
Brazilian soccer. So
Nice.
I started hitting that today.
Nice.
It's pretty good.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go Genji mode. I'm gonna run a bunch of the 1001 Nights, and just keep doing my damn Sebald.
Yeah, nice.
Writing about myself through other people.
Yeah, that's a good mode.
Yeah.
You gotta start working with some pictures.
Yeah, I mean, I'm writing 2 intros
Yeah.
to pictures.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm not a novelist anymore. I just introduce pictures.
Yeah, you're a photographer's
Photographers describer.
photographer's stuff. I thought I was gonna have a more
I
pithy
know,
note to
I know.
end on, but
Yeah,
that's all I
yeah.
could think of.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's pretty good. It's 99 degrees outside.
Yeah.
Might as well get out there, fucking
Do something.
play some soccer.
Yeah.
All right, dude.
All right.